I don't care what position you play. I don't care how long you've been in the league. For the future of this franchise and for the right now of this franchise, Ryan Dunn does not just need to play minutes. He needs to start and play starters minutes. I'm over it. I'm sick of it. With Ryan Dunn specifically, I think the reason why it hits so hard and why you've seen this outcry from Suns fans and reporters and anybody just relatively following the team is because this is not only pivotal to winning games right now, which, by the way, they need to do, as San Antonio is the team who is directly behind them in the play-in race. They're on the outside looking in of the play-in, and he literally solves one of their biggest problems, which is defense, especially on-ball perimeter defense. That's right now. Let's talk about the future, because this team is not constructed to win right now, as we've seen. Ryan Dunn is on a rookie contract and is instrumental in making sure that this season does not repeat next year. He should not only be playing, he should be starting and getting a longer leash than anybody on a one-year deal who is on a vet minimum. I don't care what position you play. I don't care how long you've been in the league. For the future of this franchise and for the right now of this franchise, Ryan Dunn does not just need to play minutes. He needs to start and play starters minutes. I'm over it. I'm sick of it. There is zero reason for it not to happen, and I cannot wait to hear what the reason was, because 20 seconds, Gerald, is almost more insulting than a DNP CD.
Right. Like, what was the point of even putting him in for that amount of time? Especially when he, like, balled out in the Rising Stars Challenge just a couple of days ago. It doesn't make sense to me. And people keep asking me, have you guys grilled Bud on this? Have you asked Bud why Ryan Dunn is not playing? Not once, not twice, but 3 separate times have I asked Bud about this question. And every time it has been something different. The first time he said, no, Ryan Dunn is healthy. It's not anything to do with his ankle, because the first time he was brought in off the bench, it was coming off of a 1-game absence from an ankle sprain. He was just saying, we were going with Royce. We like the matchup with Royce there. Gut feeling, exactly, in the chat. Gut feeling.
Dude, that actually is like a trigger word for me right now.
And the next time I asked him about it, he referenced the fact that, well, we want him to rebound a little bit more. We want him to do Ryan Dunn things. And also, like, we need him to be fully healthy, alluding to another ankle tweak. But when I asked Ryan Dunn about it that same night, he said his ankle was feeling fine. Since then, he has tweaked the ankle another time. But we just saw in the Rising Stars Challenge, he's healthy. So there's no reason for it. And he's just going to keep giving us these same non-answers. We're going to ask, like, I'm not there on the road. I'll ask again when it's a home game again. But this is going to be the 4th time I've asked him. He's just getting phased out of the rotation, and he's never going to tell us the real reason why he feels that Ryan Dunn cannot help the 25th ranked defense in the NBA. And to be fair, like, Royce O'Neal was great tonight. He was great. But you still need to be giving him 15 to 20 minutes, whether he's starting, whether he's coming off the bench. All of us think he should be starting, but either way, he should be closing, especially in a game like this where De'Aaron Fox is tearing you to shreds, getting to the free throw line, getting to the rim, getting wide open guys right underneath the basket. Like, there was just no logical explanation for him only seeing the court for 20 seconds tonight.
Steven, I'm wondering what your thoughts were when you saw this tweet from Dwayne Rankin, who is on the road in San Antonio, starting with, quote, and this is how I did the cold open, "You need someone who can guard," end quote. He said that's Kevin Durant to Mike Budenholzer as the Suns went down 9 and De'Aaron Fox was torching them. What was the first thing that crossed your mind when you saw that?
I'll revert back to this pocket of games. 9 of the last 10, they've given up 120 or more points. Now, 2 of those games came in overtime, but still, just to double check the numbers while I was doing a little math over here. Last 8 games, 995 points conceded to opponents. 995. Now, that averages out to, on 8 games, 124.4 points conceded.
And that might coincide with a certain player that has been phased out of the rotation. Maybe those 8 games or so. Okay.
Yes.
Interesting how those work out.
And that being what comes to mind for me, look at the guards that they've gone up against in these last handful of games. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jamal Murray, Ja Morant, Jalen Green. Tonight, obviously, De'Aaron Fox.
Yep.
Like, all of these guards, you simply cannot win in today's NBA if you don't have at least one viable point of attack defender in your rotation. And I mean, they just traded for someone who hasn't played yet, but the mainstay for your rotation in the minutes he's been allowed has shown to be an above-average point-of-attack defender. Does he have room for improvement with discipline, defensive decision-making, technique, navigating screens? Absolutely. But that's no different than any other rookie. The fact that he already is an advantage for you defensively and you're not leaning into him in some capacity, yet you're giving up 124.4 points a game over the last 8 games. What? The math is not mathing right now.
And guess what? Guess what, Bud, who has already seemingly waved the white flag with his rotations? If you really are just looking ahead to next year, which, by the way, you don't have a pick or your own pick between now and then, so losing games isn't going to do you any good. But let's just say you are trying to evaluate for the future and you're not trying to win games right now. And Ryan Dunn does have certain things that you feel like are detrimental to this team when he plays. Is it not your job to let him play some damn basketball and figure it out on his own? He is a smart player. And the entire time that he was starting this season, coming off the bench in every single role, yes, he fouled sometimes, but I never looked at him as a dumb player. You need to let him grow and learn. And the fact that he was playing much more at the beginning of the season, and now when you need him most, you're not. Gerald, I cannot follow any line of logic that says this makes sense. Or, oh, maybe I don't agree with the reason, but I see the other side. I do not see the other side of this.